Hello, everyone. We're back. Last week, we thought it was week 5, but this is the real week 5. Sam, how are you doing?
Hey Lumen, not too bad. How are you going?
Doing good. Yeah, so we have some fun developments and improvements to review from your last week of farming. Do you want to give a quick overview about these 3 games you've linked to me? So we have this third place 47, a third place 44 against Bubble, and a big 60. Anything you want to...
Yeah, so the games I got third place, obviously I know I made some mistakes. I just want to sort of pinpoint where I made them, what I can do better.
Okay.
The 60 game I'm more just showing off because I'm pretty impressed with that.
I mean, that is your right. As someone who is a month or 2 into playing Agricola, 60 against anyone is a really great score. It means you're doing all the farming and getting a ton of bonus points, and that's hard to link together no matter who you're playing against.
Yeah, I think when we go through it, you'll see I was kind of gifted a massive score, but it was fun nevertheless.
I mean, just the fact that you understand that you were gifted something and knowing how to execute on it, I think you might be underrating the amount of skill it takes to get there.
Okay. We'll see.
Okay.
There were some interesting early round decisions.
Let's start with this 47-point third place here, narrowly missing out on second, and it looks like you had someone in fourth who wasn't close. I clicked the wrong button.
That's the thing as well, I noticed that, milk jug. Sometimes when I'm playing, there's like one player that has no idea what's going on and they can be very disruptive.
Yes. Yes. You always want to be right behind them. And like maybe 20% of the time it doesn't work out and they actually give it to the player in front of them instead of the player behind them, but most of the time they'll give the game to the player behind them. So if there is a disparity in player strength at the table, that is an effect I look for when I sit down at a table. What can I expect based on the seating order? So, yep, it happens.
We'll see how much it contributed to this game.
Yep. All right, so we're in a draft 8 in the base set. And we have a carpenter's parlor and a couple different options for the first occupation. Master bricklayer. Okay, that's a reasonable one.
Okay, my thinking was I'm going to build lots of rooms. Let's get some benefit.
Right. And I think it's reasonable enough here. I think with 2 lower rated players at the table, Master Bricklayer is more likely to turn out good. The better your opponents, the worse Master Bricklayer gets in general.
Yeah,
so.
The more improvements they're going to take.
Right. But there's nothing wrong with this. I think the second best option is probably Firewood Collector or Hedgekeeper. Because you could get like a bit of a Firewood Collector Greengrocer combo. And while usually I wouldn't say Grain Seeds combos are good in any way, when you have a ton of actions based on Carpenter's Parlor, they get a lot better.
Yeah.
House Steward, pretty obvious pick here, and maybe trying to wheel Papermaker. Shepherd's Crook is fine, for sure. Nothing wrong with it. Manger and Threshing Board could be considerations. Okay.
Turn over rammed clay.
Yeah, I don't think I like that. I think... Well, first of all, with Childless and Carpenter's Parlor, what's your plan for your first room? You're in the second seat.
Yeah, so this is where I'm not sure if they go together exactly, because my plan is to build still like relatively early.
So there are a few issues here. So to get Carpenter's Parlor, you need a Reedstone Food action, you need a second Reed action, you need a 3 wood action, you need a start player action, you need to play Childless and build. So that's all possible. You know, you can absolutely get your room down by round 3. But I would generally say Childless on its own for the first room, Carpenter's Parlor for rooms 2 and 3 might be the best generic option, unless you expect to get the perfect sequence.
Okay.
With 2 weak players in front of you, I think you can hope for the perfect sequence. You can try to high roll that. Now, passing Rammed Clay gives you a much lower chance of executing that perfect sequence, because you want to be early in turn order.
Right,
and Rammed Clay is
incentivize them to start playing.
Rammed Clay is the single card in this set that 3rd and 4th seat can use to make that a problem. So I will guess, without seeing anything beyond this, that if you go for the perfect Carpenter's Parlor Childless room round 3, you're not going to get it, because you passed Rammed Clay as part of the reason.
Okay, that's a high possibility.
Oh my god. Well, you're very rewarded for the butter churn pick, as you know.
You like just the casual Tiller as 4th pick.
So you really have to wonder, Tiller getting through 2 low-rated players is not like the craziest thing, but what would this player take over Tiller?
I think it was Brushwood.
Of course it was.
Collector.
Cool. Amazing. Well, lucky you.
And Grocer there as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty confusing to me. I'm shocked. I would not treat this as a 500 player, honestly.
That is the guy. That's the first expert I beat.
Okay.
By the way, that's the same guy.
So you know that they're vulnerable to solid games from you. Beanfield is fine here. With Shepherd's Crook, you don't really want mini pasture. Clearing Spade, not really necessary with Childless and Tiller. I think Childless is now pretty mandatory to get down as soon as possible without going for Green Grocer, knowing Grocer is in some other hand. Childless is just such a good source of crops for you.
Yep.
Then Consultant's definitely fine here. Firewood Collector is definitely trash for you. You could consider Clay Hut Builder. Clay Hut Builder giving you resources for your renovation and with Master Bricklayer can do some damage.
Okay.
These are fine. And if you pick Clay Hut Builder, you could have justified Clay Embankment, but there's nothing wrong with Threshing Board. Then here... Yeah, probably Canoe Scythe Worker for me. Yep. You don't have time to play Scullery.
I didn't figure I was going to play either of those cards.
Fair, but you're definitely never playing Scullery because you have Childless and Carpenter's Parlor to play early.
So
Right.
at this point of time, I was thinking I have a pretty amazing hand.
Yep. And how much of it is urgent?
So obviously Child is urgent, and at the time I was thinking let's get Carpenter's Parlor down early so I can build rooms easily.
Yeah, I think it's reasonable enough to go for that high roll here. As long as you understand it's a bit of a gamble. Also, I'm noticing that you've changed your layout a little bit.
Yeah, I zoom out to 90% so I can fit everyone now.
Cool.
Is that something you can see on my replay?
I think when you look at someone's replay, you see their hand settings and their board placement settings.
Yeah, I changed it around. It just looks neater.
Yeah, sorry if it seemed a little creepy to say that.
No, I had no idea you could tell from a replay. It's cool.
All right, so the first bit of a weird move happens as purple takes 2 wood instead of expensive occupation. Small scale before tutor seems fine. Taking one read here matches the script, but I think you get started on here with rammed clay.
Yeah, so you were definitely correct.
But you don't need a second reedstone food move. You need 3 wood and Ock this round, basically. Or 3 wood and start player. Probably more reasonable. But 3 wood from the 4 seat, can't be too sure that you're getting it.
Correct.
We have a woodcutter, because of course we do. Sheep Whisperer. Oh, you do get 3 wood, okay.
I have a feeling I start player.
I would also have that feeling. The day labor for purple, because they don't have any more food. How does... Oh, they played Shifting Cultivation. Wait. Is that what happened? Yeah. Yeah, they majored minored Shifting Cultivation instead of plowing?
Yes.
Right.
Don't ask.
Nope, won't ask. Okay, cool. So you are getting the dream. Very cool. Unless Green decides to build 3 stables, or 2 stables. Which I'd be pretty shocked at.
So I must have done something seriously wrong if I stuffed this up.
Maybe.
You can definitely say yes.
I mean, there's still a chance that, you know, other players get handed bigger things. But this is definitely a good start. This is definitely the dream start for this hand. But, yeah, you're happy if it's late growth, you're happy if it's early growth. Probably less happy if it's early growth because Green is putting together a lot of rooms over there. So the thing I would be looking at right now is making sure I'm still taking a good amount of wood this game. So
Always go for the wood, you taught me that.
yeah, absolutely. This is interesting. I mean, they do need in air quotes to build a room before purple does. Both, okay, Sheep Whisperer, Sheep Walker, that's fun. Yeah, it's too bad purple didn't take 4 food with their first action, because green took a big risk there. Because if purple takes 4 food, you can take 4 food.
And they're starving.
Yeah.
While they're day laboring.
Alright, this is a move I'm actually not sure is a good idea. The 3 wood. So...
You think I should start player for the growth?
No. No. Green can't start, because they don't have any food.
Right, okay.
Green has to feed. So, taking wood, I mean, it's definitely not bad. But your alternatives here, you have a lot of cards to get out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you also don't have your long-term feeding figured out. Or maybe you do in your head, but you don't have the resources for it. So this is where I would heavily consider 4 clay into a cooking hearth to get close to affording your cooking hearth, because it's clear that you're going to be feeding with animals here.
Yep.
You could pivot to grain. Not that threshing board helps you, but scythe worker does. And master bricklayer for ovens cheaper. But I would be probably taking the clay here. One thing also against weaker players is they'll overrate clay. So you actually have to take it a little more aggressively. Also with rammed clay, I think that might be true.
No, yeah, that's something I've noticed.
Green's gonna starve. Just kidding.
They thought about it.
If family growth was guaranteed to flip in round 5, I'm still not sure I would do it. I think
Take a beggar token.
to grow first.
Yeah.
Because there's also a non-zero chance you decline the growth.
What would be my reasoning for declining growth?
From Green's perspective. People do weird things when they play childless.
Oh, okay, true, yes. Trying to get more out of childless, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's just like over paranoid. As an aside, everything that Green's done, I would be totally good with them doing in a game with additional action spaces. But in a game without additional action spaces, this is just bad play. Alright, Pastor. Okay, this is definitely not a move I would recommend.
The whole point of childless is I don't need to be starting player.
Right. While it does seem like Green is very willing to start and has the bread paddle and such to back it up. This is 6 clay. And all my previous statements about clay stand. This would be more reasonable if you had a stronger line of early minor improvements to play, because right now you're committing to play 3 minor improvements if things go late growth, and then you also want to build more rooms, which is more minor improvement actions down the line.
Yeah.
So I don't think this is the best idea.
And the clay's gonna all disappear, I think.
Right.
My fear at the time was getting put last in the growth queue. If green start players, then purple follows them.
Right. So the way you have to evaluate that includes food. And what I'm seeing here is that you could probably scare purple into starving. And red is the pastor. And weaker players don't protect growth as often. I, against weaker players, generally prefer to gamble that they'll not protect their growth as aggressively at some point. And sometimes you can lose that gamble, but I think that, well, you got 5 clay back. That's definitely
Lucky.
an amazing outcome for you. If I knew I was going to get 5 clay back, I would definitely consider starting.
I think I didn't really have a long-term plan. I probably didn't even consider what my second move was going to be at the time.
Okay.
It was more just start player to grow. That was my only line of thinking.
Right. The big issue is that you don't want to be playing 2 start players with childless, right?
Right. We do get grow.
Okay. Taking the veg seems fine. Crook over canoe. I would actually be playing canoe here
Really?
because you haven't locked in your feeding yet, and it'll help you get room parts. And it comes with a point. You might not need Shepherd's Crook. You didn't get Manger back,
Right. I don't need the fence pig.
and you have a tiller with a house steward possibility, so you really don't need a lot of field or pastures rather. So I think what I'm seeing right now is that there's a bit of a gap in your longer term plans. And And that could be attributed to experience or just like an off day, because I'm very guilty of that too. So
I'd say definitely more experience.
Purple, for being a sub 100 rated player, has a really fun plan here. They just need 3 food like nobody else. So, like, honestly, I'm not even sure I would grow first action as green. Are they really scared of purple with 2 sheep, no cookery, a sheep walker, and 1 food of growing on them? There's no 4 food second action. I mean,
like, they could get by if they got 3 food and turned their sheep into a veg or something.
That's true. That's true. I think weaker players are more prone to having sunk cost style thinking, though, and wouldn't find that line. But that's just a guess, and you are correct that they don't have to beg if they get a 3 food action. Major minor hand plow. Okay.
So this is exactly where Canoe would have been perfect.
Canoe would have given you an extra reed food here, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I would... Well, I guess Major is blocked, so that's an issue. Because if Major wasn't blocked, you'd have fun lines involving Master Bricklayer or just getting a hearth.
So my thinking was, my hand is like so focused on sheep. I've got loom, churn. I just want to play the crook and get sheep that way. But it's probably not necessary at all.
Well, it's a mix of not necessary, and you could get sheep from crook and the board. And consultant. Like, there's enough ways to do it.
Ways of getting sheep.
Green took Occupation Conjurer. I guess they had a paper maker to get food from it. Yeah, their feeding is really sketchy. Reno bottles. Alright, I will keep not questioning. The 2 reads fine here. Though I would be considering taking reed stone food and trying to get 3 reed next round.
That's reasonable, yes.
But I haven't evaluated like the turn order and all that. But I think it's relatively safe to say that purple and red aren't a huge threat on 3 reed next round. But all this wood is good. I think you have pretty immediate food things to figure out at this point. And then you really want to jam your occupations too.
Yeah, I tend to put off my feeding plans quite a bit.
I think putting them off through stage 2 is usually fine. Putting them off past that is dangerous, yeah.
It's a trend I've noticed in a lot of my games. I put off my feeding plan way too long.
I guess I'll keep not asking about stuff like that.
What did purple do?
They discarded a sheep instead of turning one into a vegetable or whatever. First action grow, because why not? Well, blankets! That's fun.
Ah, the sheep. They had a plan all along.
Right. Red also has a plan all along. They're just renovating.
Solo.
Mantelpiece. Surely that'll compensate them for not growing. All right, hearth here I like.
What would you say my next two actions should be?
That's what I was thinking about, because one thing I would seriously be looking at here is trying to get in green's way of the action they want. But I'm also noticing they're one resource shy of hitting their clay pipe, which means they probably want the 6 clay, as that's the most fence pieces and comes with 2 food. So I would probably prioritize 6 clay. It also helps with your eventual renovation and master bricklayer possible shenanigans. And then your other action should be food based, whether that's for now or later. All right, the 6 clay goes, so. All right, and occupation goes. So those were 2 moves. Wait, didn't this player have Scholar?
They canceled Scholar.
Okay, and they played Manservant first. Right, okay. So your immediate food is a bit of a question. The 2 main actions I thought green would be wanting to take are taken. Now they probably want 4 wood.
I'd probably take the wood here.
It's not a bad action. I think if you take the wood, your next action maybe should be fence 8. Or 13.
Just straight up fence 8. And leave them the wood.
Right. So obviously the sequencing on this is backwards from ideal, but there was the chance that the wood just comes back around. Okay. Yeah, that's a very curious decision by them, because they're 1 resource short of clay piping. So to paper make on expensive Ock is like not really a huge net benefit for them. And then I think the reedstone food here is misplaced, because this lets green get the 6 wood. So
they start playing 6 wood.
Yeah, so you could start player for the wood. You could just take the 4 wood. I think both of those are reasonable. They still got clay pipe? Oh, they woodcuttered. They woodcuttered off the 6 wood, so they got clay pipe already. And they're gonna do it again.
So I'm just letting green have way too much.
Yes. That is the main issue here. You really don't have to worry about the 2 players behind green. And while the sheep actions are good here, red actually doesn't need the sheep right now, and neither does purple. So I also think that's...
Right.
You kind of need the sheep, but you have a consultant as an emergency 2 sheep move. Though this line, perhaps you might be going for reedstone food and double build, but green has build tempo on you. All right, I am definitely taking reedstone food in this position.
I cancel. Oh no, I do it again.
Right. I mean, this is cute.
Yeah, this seems like a really stupid move in hindsight.
So the reasons for this, if you're planning to play Loom immediately, that's maybe okay. If you're planning to take reedstone food second here, then you get builder 6 wood next round. But if I'm green, I think I'm building here. Oh wait, no, they're growing. Oops. All right, well, I do think you should be taking reed and then hope to get 6 wood. Or build. Okay. That part checks out, but green does build. They did have a move by adoptive, okay. Are they gonna beg? Yes? No? Play pipe? There's a case to eat your vegetable there. Because if you get loom down, that's a bonus loom food for 7.
Yes, 7 sheep loom.
Yeah. I'm not sure how good that case is, because your vegetable is definitely worth something.
So still based on this overall position.
I think you're now.
How would you rate it?
I think you're now not winning.
Would you say I'm still in second?
Oh, certainly. You're never not second here. With reasonable play in the end game, you should have. Well, I guess, yeah, you didn't end up second, so that's also an issue.
Actually read that got a 48.
Yeah, it won't be purple. And you don't need to build yet, so that's okay. But the strong part about Green's game is that they're going to have easy fence pieces. They do need to renovate this round, but you're not able to contest that because you're just short on actions. Yeah, ideally you have Tiller and House Steward and Master Bricklayer down right now, but instead you have 5 sheep.
And Consultant.
Yeah. So I think this is over-focusing on the sheep.
I have a feeling I fenced 6. Oh no, okay, I build.
I do think the rooms should go down. Because right now you're cutting off your farm in 2 places.
So right now my plan was fence 6 for the sheep, and that only leaves 2 plow spaces.
Right, so then you're basically thinking about not tillering at all, because... Yeah.
Okay, tiller does not get played this game.
Yeah, I mean, if you go for that plan, that makes some sense. But your food is just not as strong as it could be right now, I think. Yeah, and green's clay piping and gonna grow to 5. Yeah, so based on the wood actions that green was able to get in the mid game, followed up with their fence piece combination here, and like this is enough drips of food for them to get their hearth and get Animal Dealer online, and now their massive set of actions is gonna really go crazy.
I definitely undervalued clay pipe. I let them get clay pipe too often for free.
Oh yeah, their 7th resource. I mean, I think only 1 or 2 of those were like actually an issue. Because one of the times you didn't have much control on them getting 6 wood plus 1 from woodcutter.
Yeah.
So, and the second time you would have just made their job a little harder. All right, you're forced to grow here instead of taking 4 wood or whatever. Loom is obvious. Getting their Conjurer plus 4 is really good. I don't really like this move. What are you starting for?
Probably gambling on cultivation.
Okay. And do you have a plan on... Okay, so gambling is reasonable depending on your perspective. So what...
Oh, sorry. There's also grow, because red can still grow. I think
Yeah.
that's my plan.
Okay. I think regular Wish for Children as your backup plan is very underwhelming to the point where I would not fight for it. My rule of thumb is that if you're starting to grow in round 11, like you're taking start play in round 10 to grow in round 11, that's a little too late. So my rule of thumb is to avoid starting for growth after that unless it's urgent wish on a small house. So House Steward I think is not reasonable, but Master Bricklayer is pretty reasonable, as none of your opponents have a single stone. So I would consider...
It would be giving me insane discounts right now.
Yeah. Every major is no stone cost. So...
Yeah.
Beanfield, I don't like it that it costs a food. You're going to want to play a miner or two more on your growth. Well, one on your growth, and then maybe you still have 2 renovations to do, though your clay supply is not very high. Yeah, so you are just short on time here. And Reedstone Food is a slow action at this point in the game. So it does make your food right because you're getting 2 loom and 1 churn. But
I think that was my main thinking at the time. Plus, I also want the Reed to renovate eventually.
yes. And that's all fair, but again, it's just slow.
Yeah.
The jug comes out 1 action too late.
That is always sad to see.
Yeah. Yeah, green gets 5 food here, effectively. Now they're ready to get their 10th food on clay pipe. They'll be breeding cows. So, I don't know if you remember your evaluation of the game at this point. Are you trying to beat green still?
Yeah, I think in my mind, green was the clear leader. I wasn't too worried about the other 2.
Okay.
When I really should have been.
I think
Well, red.
I think you should probably stop trying to catch green, would be my argument here. If you care about your placement. If you're trying to play a good game, well then just still worry about green somewhat. Because, you know, getting a far behind second isn't great either. So
I think a huge mistake that comes of this is House Steward does not get played.
I mean, it does give you 3 points relative to red.
Yes. So there must have been a move in the late game where House Steward was the right move.
Maybe. Right now, what's your evaluation of red's position? What are they lacking? What have they got figured out for the rest of their game now that there's only 3 rounds left?
Well, they have no family members, no crops, only 5 wood for fencing.
Mm-hmm. But you also want to notice that they have 5 bonus points on tutor. They have the well, they have bottles, they have mantelpiece as a net 3. That's a lot of off-board points.
And they're going to be playing more ox.
1 more Ock. Yeah, they only have 1 more.
Yeah,
But
that's fair.
so if they can get wooden plows, they do have a corn scoop plate already. If they can get wooden plows, they are they're having a pretty good game. Despite giving away the win to someone with actions. They're going to have a decent game for themselves. Alright, your nightmare scenario hits in round 12. Their last stock is the grocer. Oh yeah, now you're in trouble. Now you're really in trouble. Because wood policing is the only thing you got here. to hope to slow red down from stealing second place on you. I don't like this shifting cultivation play. I don't know what options you have, but it obviously gives green a reason to start player in one of the next 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a very good observation.
That's something that kind of comes with experience. Passing minors, you really want to be cognizant of not giving them away at times you will regret. Red getting urgent wish here is a bit annoying. Alright, Master Bricklayer is okay. I would probably consider taking the 4 clay first.
Yeah, for Renault, yeah.
Because you're action tight, you really want to sequence things ideally. And yeah, obviously, you're having some problems here. Yeah, so I think it's tunnel vision on your Shepherd's Crook pasture here. Because if you place this field down here, you could get more points of fields during the game, and you could fence 5 up top and not take a wood action anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I see the 5.
But as I said, I get it if you like got tunnel vision on something that just happens.
That was the second read to stone Renault.
Okay.
That's my thinking.
Okay.
But I'm also in the awkward position of needing 1 more stone.
Yeah. Yeah, your resources are not lining up very nicely.
And I end with 1 read, so I would assume I take reedstone food again.
Okay. Yeah, does it kind of make sense that 3 reedstones at this point in the game is slow?
Yes, absolutely. As opposed to just taking like 3 read now.
Right.
Or if I'd had canoe, would have been solved a lot earlier.
Though you would have less wood. But you already have 2 extra wood here, so interesting how that works. Alright, red is buying everything to play Drinking Trough.
If I'm... Oh god, the shift in cultivation, everyone gets it.
Yeah. Red gets grow here. Yeah, I mean, red getting grow or 4 wood is just really your nightmare. Yeah, so now you're first actioning the 4 clay because you didn't second action it last round.
Yes.
That poor Master Bricklayer. 1 stone. Uh-huh. Okay. Alright, and then what's the major gonna be? You don't have that many options. Joinery you do have the wood for. Yeah, green's taking stable wood already with their 3rd action in round 12. It's a bad sign.
I believe fencing is one of my actions here, for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. Veg is okay.
A bit of a lame move.
I would probably plow here. With this many actions, going to plow and then so bake feels okay. To me.
Oh no. Oh wait, I still have another person's fine.
Yeah. The cow's okay. Yeah, I think you're super obviously never catching green here, and I mean you have live scoring on, so you should be able to see that red is a danger to you here. They have 33 without fences, and purple's just giving them urgent wish every round. So a downside here is that you can't threaten fences, though I guess mini pasture might be with red right now, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh, I'm still 1 stone short, so
Yeah, you're a stone short, you're a plow short, you don't have pigs, you'd like to sow. There's a lot of stuff that you want still. I guess you have a pig here.
So I get a pig from the board.
Okay.
Wait, do I? Yes, I get a pig from the board. I end up plowing and sowing, so maybe I get
Okay.
plow sow.
That would be fun. I mean, red's gonna get a big wood stack if they want it to fill out their fencing, so they don't really want plow sow, and purple doesn't realize how good it is, so. Oh, no, guess not.
Damn.
Yeah, Reedstone first action here is a little sad. I think
Even I
farmland.
can see looking back, it's terrible. Well, not, yeah. It's not ideal.
Also, you might have needed to do it because the reno pressure is super high.
Yeah, so I definitely blocked
Well-
purple from renoing.
Well, purple doesn't want to reno.
They took stone as their first action. I think they do.
They want stone oven.
I think they want reno.
I think they want to for clay, build room, grow stone oven, even though that's not possible. That's what they want to do. Nope, they're taking
No,
one stone.
they want reno.
Okay. Now they want reno. Yeah, so I guess you needed to do that, which is not perfect. Any reason you went reno fence there?
Because the other one's taken.
Ah, yeah, that's a reason. My bad for not looking. Yeah, stone oven's just a point better for purple. Yeah,
Okay,
both.
so it's my 3 actions must be plow, sow, and then pig.
Yeah,
Or, yeah.
yeah. Purple found the urgent wish spot. No one can sow. I probably would have sown there because that's a 3-point sow for you.
I think my thinking was no one else is going to take it.
That's fair. Green took wood. When sowing is the same point and takes 3 points away from you, I think sowing is better for green than the wood there. But yeah, you didn't have enough point ceiling. The thing about a lot of sheep is that a lot of sheep doesn't actually offer point ceiling. Kind of because it takes too long to get all those sheep.
Yeah, so I got 9 for my loom, but it's pretty underwhelming.
Right, I mean, a 4-point total loom is great, and with butter churn, it's a good compliment. But yeah, if I were to summarize this game, you didn't get your actions quick enough. The benefit of playing Carpenter's Parlor early is really diminished when you're building rooms 4 and 5 to grow in like round 11 and 12, or something like that.
And then
Tunnel vision on sheep. Yeah. Because ideally with a lot of actions, you're just using tiller every round. And when you have tiller and carpenter's parlor, you really want to be fencing tight.
Yeah, that was my thinking about the overall strategy was poor, because it's obviously not ideal to fence big and have rooms and then have no plow space.
Right. And that is something I would coach more towards an intermediate player than a beginner, but I guess you are getting to be a true intermediate player now, 300 rated.
Okay, it does seem a lot more obvious looking back now.
Okay, good.
I think this game may have a lot of the same themes. Let me have a look at it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm noticing some similar things here.
Okay, this one. Oh, sorry.
The first pick is interesting, though, because you have two good choices. Well, you could argue for three good choices here for the Ock.
I think you know which one I'm taking, though.
Yeah, I think this is wrong. I think Tiller is a much better choice there. And you could argue for House Steward also. From that first pack.
Yeah.
So, especially at a stronger table, you're going to get resource market less, which makes Parlor harder to play. And specifically the combo of Childless and Parlor harder to play. So, at this table, behind the strongest player in third seat, which is worse than second, if you go for your first room Carpenter's Parlor with Childless, I'm going to predict you don't get that in round 3.
That is that they are my first two opening cards.
Uh-huh.
As in the first two I played for the match.
Right.
So I don't remember how early I get them.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt round 3 as well.
Yeah. And that does make Childless somewhat worse. Not an elite card, in my opinion. It's enough of a difference. Mining Hammer, I think, is good here. There's a case to be made for Scullery, but not a strong one compared to Mining Hammer. Roof Baluster is definitely the right occupation.
Yeah, I've grown on Roof Baluster, especially with Parlor.
Right. I'm probably taking Mini Pasture here with maybe Conjurer, but Scythe and Master Bricklayer are definitely fine. Okay. I would consider Papermaker here. Hedgekeeper is definitely okay too. But you already have a good bit of wood in your hand. Like, all three of your miners, like, help you with wood in some way.
That's true, yes. Papermaker is helping with food.
Right.
Oh, God.
And then
I'm not gonna like the next pick.
the miner here, yeah, I think Thick Forest is probably wrong. Sack Cart, probably wrong. I mean, there's no, like, great pick here. You didn't see Organic Farmer in the draft yet, so there's no real reason to pick Drinking Trough. If you pick Three Field, I mean, honestly, anything except Drinking Trough I think is reasonable enough. Just because there's nothing impressive. Get House Steward back, that's really cool. Animal Tamer would be a reason not to take Hedgekeeper, but if you don't remember that, I don't blame you. I think Wool Blankets is just bad here.
Okay, yeah, especially with Roof Baluster, that gives me the stone for my stone.
Right, so I would be picking Threshing Board. Threshing Board Scythe Worker has a bit of synergy. You didn't take Tiller, so you're going to need your fields the normal way.
Yep.
I would be taking Scullery here. And Manservant is okay. Animal Dealer is good too.
I can't not pick my boy. I love him too.
But how much food do you expect to get out of it?
I don't think I play.
Okay, but when you draft it, do you have any expectation?
I don't think so, no. So Animal Dealer probably would have been the better pick.
Okay, I think Animal Dealer is a safer pick, but picking Manservant with the idea that you're getting 6 late food and 9 if you're lucky, I think that's teetering on okay.
Oh, jokes. I pick Animal Dealer.
Okay, good. Good pivot, but yeah, I don't think this Mantelpiece fits. Also, I think you want to pass Mantelpiece to someone else. Because with Roof Baluster Carpenter's Parlor, you're probably renovating late, so to have less pressure on renovation is a fun little side effect.
Okay, yeah, right, yeah, like incentivize someone to renovate early.
Right. And I probably overrate that kind of effect, but...
I think that's very reasonable.
And then you're never playing either of these occupations.
Just give me a sec, I'll just get my cat in.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, we can skip a bit, see if we get the childless roll off.
That wasn't enough moves. Let's go 30 more. Alright, so we're in round 3. You're about to take your first move. Does Bubble have Brushwood? No. So I would play Childless and build here. I wouldn't waste a move on Carpenter's Parlor. But, you know, it's not the worst move. Like, it's fine, but it's not what I would do.
So, Childless is the move over building here, yes? To block people?
You know you're starting. The thing is, like, building in 3 versus building in 4 isn't really getting in anyone's way. It's really building in 5 versus 4 is possibly the biggest difference that can come up in a game. Yeah, the first build versus being in 3 versus being in 4 doesn't matter much. I would build here to get free Childless.
Oh.
Saving both of them for next round is doable, but I would rather take the second action being 4 wood or 6 clay or 4 clay or 4 food rather than take this reedstone here. Because you're basically throwing away your second action next round to take the reedstone. But yeah, again, I would have Childless and built. Save Parlor for a sneaky surprise.
Oh, I really hope I don't plan to double build here. Okay,
Alright, let's go to like round 6. This is move 105, so I guess move 140.
we have a late growth flip.
Okay. I don't want to see you on meeting place. I want to see you taking good actions. This was a 4 wood. Yeah. Start player in 6 is okay. Were you start player the previous round?
I do not recall.
That's fair. I didn't check. This mini pasture says you're taking the 6 sheep, throwing a bunch of them away. It's probably what I would do. Man, Bubble's just stockpiling.
Yeah, he can build straight up 4 rooms.
The 3 reed like makes sense in a lot of ways, but I think it doesn't make enough sense in some key ways. So like, who's gonna want the reed?
Yeah, okay. Looking at it now, red probably not going to build too much in clay. Purple already has reed. Green doesn't need reed.
Yeah. And you're letting purple build the cookery into taking 7 sheep. Wow.
I don't think
What?
I think the sheep build up for quite a while.
That is just not correct compared to taking the fireplace. I would have taken the sheep last round with your second move, or with your second move this round. Even if 4 of them run away, you're getting sheep going, which is really nice. The biggest upside to what you're doing is you're threatening building rooms, but Bubble's already doing that.
Jesus.
Yeah. So if you don't take the 7 sheep, the 7 food is okay, and the 4 wood is like barely okay. Occupation house steward is probably okay enough, but underwhelming. Actually, no, it's not really okay because there's 4 wood on the board and you don't have an Oc prereq. So yeah, 7 food's all right. I mean, usually you'd be jumping for joy at that, but the sheep is basically the same amount of food. Sorry, I'm all over the place with my resolution here. There we go.
How often would you see that many sheep build up?
Rarely.
Okay.
I mean, I see people being pretty opportunistic about the first stack of sheep when it's like 3 or 4, much less 7. I think the expert players are really starting to highly value breeding sheep in the first couple stages.
It always feels good when you can start breeding them early.
Right, so I mean, pretend this is 2 sheep. That's basically what it is for you.
Yeah.
I mean, that still seems like a fine move compared to the 7 food, right?
Absolutely.
The downside to it is that you're slowing down your food tempo, so yeah, it's not like you took a bad 7 food move. And you can still snipe the sheep here, but maybe Bubble will.
You will see most sheep sniping from me.
I mean,
whoever gets the first sheep must have crazy tempo.
right. So it's piles like this. It's the same theme about being opportunistic about 6 wood. Because the wood gives you rooms or fence tempo, and obviously a pile of 8 sheep is going to give you huge food tempo.
Possible, it just feels like really bad throwing 5 sheep away.
Well, yeah, so the counter, I mean, I kind of agree. But the counterpoint is that you're not throwing it away from yourself, you're throwing it away for your opponents. You're just taking 2 or 3 sheep. And now the table's not getting 5. Yeah, so I think Oc here, not a great time. Definitely the sheep.
Rebels is way too early, right?
No, but you don't have tempo on the well. 2 players can build it in front of you. So I don't really know what you're wanting the stone immediately for. If you had conservator manservant, that would be great, but you don't. All 9 sheep held. That is amazing. Yep, there goes the well. Yeah, to stonecutter, lumber mill, junk room. Yeah, this is a combo that I thought I'd be seeing more of in base set games, but I just don't.
That is the guy that would get first until I handed green to him.
Okay. I mean, this is definitely a good setup for late growth, I think. Small scale into a priest room. Stonecutter, lumber mill, junk room. Pretty fun looking. So you didn't take start player. 6 clay is important for you. But part of the 7 food move last round is so that you have food tempo this stage and therefore can fight for growth. So now you're just letting green grow.
I don't know why I let green grow like that.
I mean, maybe you forgot about it and that would be fair, but
I don't think I forgot. I just valued renovating way too much.
okay.
Which is crazy because I'm not in any rush to renovate.
I mean, it's definitely good to do.
Yeah, it's good. Oh god.
I mean, this clay move is fine. Are you concerned about it?
No. So my plan is reno hearth, I think.
Yeah, that's fine. Get your food set up better for the long term. If you go 3 boards into reno and then don't have to fight for growth, I think that's okay. But green is starting to put together like pieces of food at a time, and you should start being concerned about green having enough food to start player again. So you should be ready to do something like take 5 food fishing if green takes start player, in my opinion. Yeah, I think this has to be 3 pigs. Play embankment's fun, but what value are you getting from it?
Let me have a look. Oh god. Okay.
So maybe pottery thoughts.
Pottery.
Yeah. Okay. Reno, hearth, pottery is 11, so you have 5 left after that. All right. I'll approve that.
Or like reno, pottery, then hearth later.
Yeah, whereas I think this needs to be 3 pigs into hearth immediately.
Which, yes, makes sense because I'm breeding and feeding myself.
Yeah. Okay, pigs.
Okay, I get the pigs.
And then you want
Now
to...
makes complete sense to get hearth.
Yeah. And pottery just doesn't seem to be super contested at this immediate moment. Yeah, so the start player move I don't like. The 5 food sitting there is pretty interesting because of how badly it seems green might need it. Yeah, and then pottery is just mistimed, I think. Yep, there goes the 5 food. Yeah, it's just that green needed this 5 food so badly.
Yeah, so what I need to do is look at other players' food situations a lot more frequently.
Yes, because so many tactics arise from people feeding badly, including tactics that you're not going to notice are going to be used against you.
Yes. How would you evaluate this board? Who's winning here?
It's a good question. It is a very good question. I don't think you're in the running because you don't have any plow help. Or you're not having an amazing game because you don't have plow help.
Yeah.
Red's in a very solid position. If they start and hit grow Urgent Wish in 12, I think they're winning. If they start and it's cultivation, they're still okay, but maybe not winning. Probably bubble, but that might just be biased based on elo. They do have a loam pit. They are cobbling together enough food. They're gonna have boar breeding in stage 5 for sure. They're close to having enough fence pieces. I don't think purple has enough ceiling here. They have fun stuff, but just not having a fireplace for these sheep is crazy. So I think it's between red and green right now, and you might be as low as third. I think taking the 3 stone instead of a plow is pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
Because plows are that important for you. I mean, this is... both these games, you have gotten crops off childless, but you haven't had point containers for them.
I think I definitely undervalue farmland too much as an action.
I think you're far from alone.
Plowing in general.
I think you're far from alone. Farmland is like the single action I think helps me pull out close victories in tight, low-scoring games. I think that's one of my major keys to success in tight, low-scoring games is I know when to take farmland. And it's kind of often. I don't know if this is a low-scoring game, though. But, I mean, it's good for high-scoring games, too.
53, 53.
Yeah, that's pretty high. Yeah, I mean, Bubble got wood and plows and some food this round. I mean, what an ideal round for him. Or, yeah. And they sowed vegetables in stage 4. Yeah, great timing on that farm. They should have enough clay to buy a cookery and eat the veg. I don't see any reason to eat. Oh wait, never mind. You're quite short on food there. Yeah, raw eating one of your childless grain obviously is not ideal. All right, yeah, you're getting pretty late for plowing.
Yes.
All right, so here, 3 wood, farmland, and even pig market are reasonable enough, I think. I would probably go farmland.
But that's a complete mistake because the pigs are just more food.
Yeah. Yeah, so red started but didn't hit Urgent Wish. Yeah, I really do think from last round they were in a winning position if they hit Urgent Wish. Yeah, I don't know how good of a round this is for you if you're not getting farmland and wood. Start for cultivation.
Yes. Oh god, I hope that's what I... Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then ideally you get one more wood action before fencing, but it's not clear you're going to have time for that. There's the wood action. 3 wood there versus 2 on the board does earn you an extra point. So, sure. Makes sense. Yeah, nice cookery. I would be expecting pretty high chance of start player for cultivation for green because they have this field coming in round 14. So I would expect to be going second next round very often.
That is probably something I did not think about.
Though, to be fair, start player for cultivation is basically as good for purple and red also. But I would lean towards the highest rated player doing that. Start player in round 13 is just so good. But taking fences here is interesting. Now, like with 1 cow gone so fast, I'm not sure I would do that. The reason to fence now would be to have tempo for next round and try to get sheep here. I think you not starting is fine based on the chance that the player in front of you will start. It is risky because, you know, either of the 2 players behind you could be justified in starting, but
Yep. You will definitely not like the last round.
you have a lot of stuff to do still.
I have a lot of stuff and I think I get distracted.
Okay. That veg is a little odd. But yeah, if it's your food, that's not a great sign.
I think I was just looking for point actions at this stage.
Okay. Yeah, you did kind of like point cap yourself by not taking enough farmland early. And like getting all of your wood first. So you do have to like layer your moves that complete your farm in some kind of order to try to give yourself point containers of all types. So yeah, I agree it's like hard to find a great move for you in that position. Because you want a fence, but it's blocked. You want more farmlands, but you already took both plows this round. Yeah, and I think playing House Steward doesn't help you against one of your 2 competitors that you might be up against, so. That young animal market's cute. It's a good reason to fence. Yeah, so I think now green is ahead because of their huge cultivation incoming, which will solve their food. They don't have any reno pressure, and they've got good animals now. They're just missing point ceiling, which red does have. So
Yeah, red was definitely ahead until the very last move. Well, one of the last moves.
gotcha, yeah. Yeah, and if red gets Urgent Wish, I'd be really scared if I was green. So I'm praying, if I'm green, that purple takes Urgent Wish. Which is more likely when they take cultivation, because then you're more likely to take farmland. It's a little sad they don't have a second grain to sow. But not a big deal, because they can sow veg, which gives them food. First actioning a cow.
Flower's just better.
Plow's probably better for sowing possibilities. And everyone else has a cow, so it's less clear that anyone wants it.
Yeah, much less pressure.
This is a very odd day labor move.
Oh, that they have tiller.
Right, but why not Urgent Wish?
Yes. Yeah.
Also, why not Urgent Wish? Oh, not Urgent Wish because Sleeping Quarter, and not... Okay, never mind. Sleeping Quarter changes the dynamics there.
So I took the fencing now. I was worried green was going to block me, even though they've Probably just looking to build stables.
Okay. Very small detail. This is wrong by a point. The fence arrangement covering 2 more spaces, 1 less pasture is better.
Okay, yeah, I see. Yeah, that's quite clear. I definitely need to work on my fencing.
I have a video for it.
I watched your video. I still need to work on it.
I wish I could create more videos like that easily, but that one was just a really forgetting the word for it, but it was just a sequence of things that worked together unexpectedly well. I didn't expect to just talk so smoothly about it for 10 minutes or whatever.
So notice how I took a lot of read.
And then got major blocked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happens. I don't blame you for going for higher potential lines. Like, what else do you have to do?
Yeah, true. At this one, I can't get many points.
Right. Yeah, so this wood action actually works for green because they can both build the rest of their stables and reno fence for an extra point. That's neat. Very high floor farm there. Yeah. And you king make, woohoo!
Well, that was purple was also tied with me,
Yeah.
so I needed to get away from.
Yeah, no, makes enough sense. Though, were you winning tiebreakers? Also, their food isn't easy to calculate. They have 1 extra grain, 1 extra
Getting an
pig.
extra point from sheep, right?
Yeah, so they have an extra grain and pig to feed. They're breeding 1 point, so they end with 43. And you were going to end with 42. So yeah, you did need it.
And I still have to eat.
Yeah, but you... Oh, okay, 41, so yeah, you definitely needed it. Unlucky for purple, but they also ate the wrong animal, so...
Well, next time you play against Bubble, you can get him to thank me for saving him without.
All right, so I guess what do you think are the themes here about trying to do childless in Carpenter's Parlor?
So in the first game it paid off. I had a good start, but overall it's a bit slow, and like you need the perfect sequence of events for it to work properly.
Mm-hmm. Then what about the mid game? What were you missing in the mid game that you would have really loved? You wanted fields.
Yes, undervaluing plowing and also food engine or figuring out a feeding plan much
Right.
earlier.
Exactly. So that's something that could have helped you in both games. And moves as innocent as, like, in that first game, taking 4 clay in round 4
Yes, yeah.
could really help. Yeah. More childless tiller. Hey, this game you scored 60, you had a tiller. Look at my shocked face.
And childless and brushwood.
Yeah, it's fun. I don't like brushwood that much, but you barely used it.
Yeah. I do like brushwood a lot though.
Yeah, I think it's something that helps a lot. The first quite a lot of games you play Agricola. I mean, it's a card that was also an original, and I remember liking it a ton. All through my time as what I might describe myself as an intermediate player. Yeah, I really liked it a lot. So it's something you eventually want to figure out how to live without more effectively. But no, I definitely don't dispute that. As you're learning the game, it's really cool and a good card.
So in this game, I had purple helping me a lot with start player. Like
Okay.
first round, first action start player let me get 3 wood as a second action.
Okay, nice. So you went reed, stone, food, 3 wood.
My first move might have been brush.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, I can buy that. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, your room parts were 2 actions. And brushwood collector. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
3 field rotation's definitely good when you end up with more than 5 fields. Loom, obviously good. You got the well and the late bottles. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it started breeding pretty early as well, I think.
Obviously a very strong game. Why no strawberry patch? This is like, why don't you have strawberry patch played?
Probably the lack of 1 wood.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think at the end of the game, I just couldn't find the sequence to get wood and then strawberry
Right.
patch.
That's very fair. But actually, 60 with growth in 6 and 13. It's not exactly what I would expect for childless to score this high. So that is, yeah. No matter how many points your opponents are giving you, that's really cool.
Yeah, I was quite happy with that one.